Now, the US Electoral College, as we've been telling you, has formalised the appointment of Joe Biden as President-elect of the United States, much to the chagrin, no doubt, of the outgoing President Donald Trump. Now, Biden will be inaugurated as the 46th President on the 20th of next month, 42 days after votes were first cast. It's always been an odd and drawn-out process, the American electoral process. I don't get it. The formality of today, giving Biden the 270 vote threshold required for victory, was even more important given Trump's refusal to concede. What a time to be alive. Joining me now is Barbara Heinbach, former White House advisor. Barbara, welcome. I can't imagine that this would have been Donald Trump's greatest day. I wouldn't like to be around him. I'm nearly sure he'd be in a foul mood.
Right. There was so much news today going on. We had Hunter in the news, and he's got, when I say Hunter, that's President-elect Joe Biden's son. There are any number of federal investigations against him towards some of his activities with China, the Ukraine, et cetera. And then we had the Electoral College, which was the day to finalize the absolute approval of the Electoral College, deeming that, yes, Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States come January 20, when he's sworn in. You have to remember that they need this time when there's a change in government, whether it's because a president has served two terms, or whether he only gets to serve one term, as is the case with Donald Trump. And then they've got to get their staff, the new team coming in, their staffs together, and who's going to be leading up the secretaries of state, defense, all of that. But one of the things I think that Trump can certainly take to his credit is the fact that he certainly did pull together what he called warp speed in order to have the vaccine that started being delivered to individuals and to healthcare people in the healthcare and medical professions, as well as senior citizens.
Yes.
And that started to be administered today. So he can take some allegiance in that. And then I think if he just would gracefully kind of say, okay, what's done is done, this is what it is, and then spend some time trying to fix our ballot system once he leaves the White House, because it's just ridiculous that so much has gone awry to the extent that it has. That is what has been most shocking to me. The one thing I'd said all along when people were asking me 3 or 4 months before the end of the election, who did I think would win? Would it be a landslide one way or the other? I didn't feel that that would happen, but it was a possibility. But what I did feel very reassured about was that the election would not be determined on November the 3rd or the 4th. I always felt it was going to be dragged out because there was going to be plenty of fussing from either side.
You've given us so many angles to it already in that one answer. But tell me, as an insider, what would be the scene like inside the White House now? Would the boxes be moving out? Would people be putting things in vans? Or does that wait for the inauguration?
The boxes will probably wait another few weeks until after Christmas Day, at least, or, the very end of December, very beginning of January. But it's a time of gloom because Trump did end up being a one-term president. And instead of instead of the boxes being pulled out, people are scrambling, trying to get on someone else's team who are the real politicos. And say, they're all running around, well, who's going to, hire me now, and where can I go, and trying to mend fences, make new friends, that sort of thing.
And how many from one side of politics end up working for the other side of politics in a change like this?
A small number, not that many,
right.
But people will go back to their states and try to get on with a senator from their state in the governor's office, things of that nature, or join one of the other, like secretariat, try to come into State Department, Department of Labor, Agriculture, housing, and urban development, that sort of thing.
as I asked you at the beginning of this interview, I'd love to know the mood inside, what was going on through Donald's brain, etc. But I've got to play you something, Barbara, an almost real depiction of what's happening in the White House at this very moment.
And if you look at the numbers are false. The numbers are corrupt. It was a rigged election, 100%. And people know it. That's why you have people marching all over the United States right now. They know it was a rigged election. And look at what's happening in Georgia. A lot of things are being found in Georgia. And they are absolutely against showing. I mean, it's a sad thing. They don't want to show signatures. It can be solved if you show signatures. But you're going to find out the people that signed aren't the people that are supposed to be signing. You're going to find that the people that signed those envelopes, they didn't do the ballots, envelopes. And then somebody said maybe the envelopes were thrown out. There's tremendous fraud here. If you look at, wait just 1 second, if you look at 10 o'clock in the evening.
It is an accurate symbol in that he will maintain the rage about the fact that he was cheated out of office, won't he?
I suppose that this is a moment where Donald Trump himself will have a reality moment of realizing what was it like to be an apprentice when he goes, "You're fired."
Yes, I think you're right. Last question. Who will run in 4 years' time, do you think? Will it be Donald Trump? Will it be Ivanka Trump? Will it be another Trump? Or will it be someone else entirely?
Oh, I have no idea. I couldn't predict anything that far out. I'm even wondering, will we still be a two-party system? And I really think after today, and even before today, really, I think a lot of the energy at this point is really focusing on the epicenter, which is the state of Georgia and those two senatorial races, because more than anything else, I think that's happened in this entire election is how those two states will determine the Senate, because if it becomes Democratic, then with the strength of the progressives and AOC and Squad, if it becomes Democratic
it'll be out of
the
control.
Democrats win both,
correct.
And you also have the new vice president who will be able to break a tie.
Yes, I know. I've got to leave it there, Barbara. I've just run out of time, but thank you very much for your insight. Fantastic to have you on.
Thank you.